Hey Gemini, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your first half of reading here. I am so pleased to be back with you guys. Let's get right into the meditation. Listen, it took me to a place of Greek mythology. Let's talk. I saw an image of Sisyphus. So, legend around Sisyphus is that he was doomed to roll this very heavy boulder up a hill every day only to have it roll down again, right, as punishment. I think Zeus punished him. Most likely, I feel like, Zeus was always punishing someone. So that was his fate, though, was to roll this very heavy boulder up a hill only to have it fall down again. I want to ask you, whatever your boulder is, right, is it as heavy as it appears to be? Because I saw this image of a prop boulder, a prop, meaning something that you would use in a play or on a film set, right? So something made to look very heavy, but then you pick it up and it's actually paper. It's super light, right? So I'm hearing to really examine what your personal boulder or boulders are and going, okay, does it just look heavy? Is the relationship to it heavy? Am I putting a heaviness on it that doesn't actually need to be there? Because I saw you guys as a collective going, oh God, wait a minute. Because it's this feeling of Atlas too, and holding the world up on your shoulders. And I'm hearing it doesn't have to be that hard. That's what I keep hearing. It doesn't have to be that hard. How you see something, right, versus how it actually is, or the potential around what it could be, right? Okay. And getting an image of, there's people that are considered to just, you've probably known one or two in your lifetime where they're considered to be charmed. And they seem to have it, I'm using quotes here, have it easy, have a charmed life where everything just seems to, roll out for them. They get the jobs that they applied for. They find love at an early age and just live the rest of their life just in pure love bliss. And they always have their needs met and plenty of money in the bank. And, there's this image of that, right? And I'm hearing that you are charmed. You have the ability and the potential to have what you desire, to have your life be in a place of ease and charm and pleasure. That perhaps it's your relationship to your obstacles. Like I do feel like the boulder is a symbol for obstacles, right? That it's your relationship to these obstacles that makes them seemingly insurmountable. All right. Ooh, I also saw the image of Hera. Hera in Greek mythology, she was Zeus's wife. And she was also represented by the peacocks were sacred to her. Peacocks equate to the Queen of Cups, which is about feeling things rather deeply, but allowing your, emotions to fuel and inform you. I also get a sense of the whale. Here, the whale equates to the King of Cups. So I do feel like you are being called to really balance your emotions and do whatever you need to do to do that. Sometimes we have to really pay particular mind to not just what we are feeling, but what we are avoiding feeling. Indeed. Okay, let's see what's going on for Gemini for first half of September. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, the thing is, moth here at the bottom. Beautiful empathic energy here. Actually, yeah, I feel like that's for you because it's lining up with the hyena here. So we have the moth and the hyena. Yeah, okay. So I'm feeling this very distinct energy of, do you see this black and white here? Do you see this split moon, right? Remember what we said about the boulder with Sisyphus rolling the boulder, right? And I said, is that boulder actually heavy? Or is it a prop boulder? Is it your relationship to your obstacles that are making them, seem insurmountable when actually they're not? You could just jump right over it. I'm obsessed that the hyena came up for you because the hyena, look at this humor here, right? They are absolutely associated with humor, but it's also about perception. That's what I feel like the key is here for y'all, Jim. That's perception. How are you perceiving yourself, your surroundings, your opportunities? Perception check aisle 1. That's what I'm getting for you guys, right? And the dark and the light side of the moon. There really is this call to, I want to say, take a good feel around your relationship to where you are. What did you inherit? Your attitudes about money, your attitudes about love, your attitudes about self-image, your attitude, whatever that is. What did you inherit? Either from, how things have always worked out for you in the past, or you expecting, even subconsciously, you expecting them to work out the same way because that's how it's always been? Or did you inherit certain belief systems from your family? A really good example, the best example I could think of is inheriting a belief from family that is, says in order for work to be well done, it must be difficult, right? The only work is hard work. That type deal, no pain, no gain, things that we inherit, right? Really feeling your way around that and then allowing yourself to, because these both have to do with the darkness and light as well, because the moth, right, is associated with the darkness, nocturnal energy, moth to a flame as well, so it's light and dark. Moths also represent empaths, feeling things really, really clearly, right? And there's something here about feeling your way around where you are in order to inform where you're going. I feel like you have this opportunity. Yeah, Wands energy here too. Okay. Because both of these are associated with Wands energy as well, fire energy, which is about the action that you take. And I feel like that is a very important word to put across here, Gemini. It's the action that you take. Why do I have this image of a lot of people trying to get a few last, very, sought after spots on a train? Like a lot of people crowding around to get the last 3 seats, but everyone's crowding around in the same concentrated area, and then other people see that that's where they're crowding, so they think that that's the only open door onto the train. It's like that herd mentality. But then I see you, Gemini Collective, spotting an opening way up at the top. So you very casually make your way over there as to not to draw attention, and you get one of the last seats with absolutely no problem because you used your feeling and your perception and your smarts here to kind of go, wait a minute, everyone's going about it this way. Where am I? Wait a minute, is that an opening over there? There's something to that, Gemini. Doing things differently than how your family or even yourself in the past has done things as well. Okay, think about that. Let's see what's going on. Oh, yeah. 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment. Hello. Oh, well, actually, this is 9 of Pentacles, but it is interesting that I saw 9 of Cups. So that's interesting as well. 9 of Pentacles, although I will say with the 9 of Cups, there's a lot of water here that I'm picking up on. Water and fire in particular. Again, the water being the emotional aspect of things with the King of Cups and Queen of Cups, and the fire being the action aspect of things, right? Okay, so feeling and doing. Notice, it's not thinking and waiting, right? Pentacles are waiting, I feel like in this context, swords are thinking. So not thinking and waiting, feeling and doing is what's going on for you right now. 9 of Pentacles is feeling, that beautiful bliss of independence and feeling like, you are everything you need. You have everything inside of you to create the life that you want. But also this is stacking your coins in a way where because what comes after this? What comes after this is the 10 of Pentacles, which is ancestral lines, family, partnership, right? It's the 3 generations depicted traditionally in that key, right? So this is reaching the pinnacle, the highest possible pinnacle that you can reach before you are prepared to step out and actually create a home with someone else, create, a shared lineage, a shared, wealth, if this is work-wise, right? Partnering up with someone else at work or starting off on a new work venture, right? This is getting your cup all the way full with your finances and where you are in terms of feeling grounded and stable so that you're ready to join up and share the wealth, right? This is really, really beautiful. I will say, because the wolf here as well is about going with your instincts, right? So there's something here about that as well. I'm really hearing, because I'm also drawn to the butterfly here, and then the moth came up. The butterfly and the moth as totems are a lot about appearances as well, because they transform and go through different shapes. I'm hearing to ask yourself where you are in the cycle of the moth or the butterfly, right? Are you in the egg? Are you in the caterpillar? Are you in the chrysalis or the cocoon if you're a moth? Or are you in the fully fledged formation? Where are you in that transformation cycle? There's something to that, okay? If you get really honest and clear with yourself about where you are in that cycle, then you can get your needs met more efficiently and carry on to the next stage, right? Wow. Okay. Hello. We have the Seven of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. So fascinating here. The Seven of Cups is about optionality, right? It's about considering your options. The Five of Pentacles traditionally is feeling separate or outside of what you desire, right? So this is a feeling of separation, and this is a case of analysis paralysis. Interesting. There is this very distinct feeling of, you go from this Nine of Pentacles place, right? Where you're like, okay, I've got everything I saw 11 on the timer. I've got everything lined up in a certain way where I feel like I know what I'm doing and what I need and whatever else have you. I'm feeling, at least, because it's all a matter of not just perspective, but it's all relative to where you've been before. That's what I'm hearing. Some of you guys feel relatively stable because where you were was incredibly unstable. So even if you're not exactly in the most stable place that you would desire to be, relative to where you were, it's looking pretty stable. You know where I'm going with that? It's just a matter of perspective, and it's all relative to your previous experience, which is also, going back to that charmed person, it's also saying that comparison is the thief of joy. So be wary of either comparing yourself to others or comparing yourself to your past self in one way or another, right? Something to that. But this Seven of Cups with this, optionality and a lot of choices, and then Five of Pentacles, I feel like there's a fear that I'm picking up on here of either making a wrong decision or the decision that you make not working out in your favor. Or, again, I keep hearing it, that it's going to go like it did before, or that it's going to, your luck always goes a certain way, or things always go like they did, but there's something about that, right? And taking a little long in committing to a choice or making a move on this way forward, because it's just like fear that it's not going to go your way because it either hasn't before, or because you feel like, you're in danger of losing the ground that you've gained this far, right? News at 9, fear gets you nowhere and produces nothing good, as you logically know, but do you feel the truth of that is the question. Also a fear around finances here as well, about not having all that you need to have all you need. Interesting. Two of Pentacles here. You don't say. We were just talking about, having options and having fear around making a decision, all of that good stuff. This is juggling, this is multitasking, right? But I want to point something out. Do you remember how I saw Sisyphus in your opening meditation rolling that boulder up the hill? Only that, look at this like symbology here. I'm kind of loving this. But do you see how this crow has actually made a decision, is landing on this one and letting this one write it out? It's like these two options. And what I'm getting here is that this is really about making a choice and the reward being that you made a choice. It doesn't matter how it works out necessarily. If you come from a place of feeling and doing as opposed to thinking and waiting, that is its own reward. I just heard, how can I mitigate against, or how can I protect myself against risk or loss? I feel like I'm at a business seminar. Like I just saw a flash on the screen go, how can you protect yourself against risk or loss? Something about that. There's this feeling of either being overly careful or, again, just fear about losing ground or losing, because I feel like, you guys have been through some challenging lessons in transformation when the moth and the butterfly comes up like this. But I really feel like it's going to be not just okay, but better than you thought. Again, back to that prop boulder versus the actual boulder. Something about that. Do you believe that you're worthy of having everything that you want? Is the question as well. Feelings of self-worth, Ooh, King of Swords on the bottom here. Repping your air sign self here in its masculine form with the eagle realness and that gorge. The Magician. The Magician, to clarify, the Nine of Pentacles. I feel like in this context, this is saying, trust that you're not going to lose any ground on all that you've built momentum around, and there's no going backwards from where you are. It's only movement forward. That is the potential energy here. This is the choice that's coming up before you to make or not make, because nothing happens without you, right? Do you see how gorgeous this is, though? The fox also is about, look at all these tools, the Magician here. This is using every tool at your disposal to manifest what you want, right? But guess what? The fox is also known for observing before taking action. Observing before taking action, right? This is where you've been. This is where you've been, right? You've gotten this far. Look at all that you've accomplished. Adjust your perspective, right? There is this feeling this really deep feeling here of mourning either aspects of you or your given circumstances that did not go as planned or desired. You're being asked to really mourn it so that you can really let it go. It might surprise some of you to really tap in and go, oh man, I didn't know I was still holding on to that. I didn't know I was still angry about that. I didn't know that I was still traumatized over that. It happened so long ago, or I thought I was over it, or whatever have you, right? Something around that. Hi, 9 of Cups with a big butterfly. Remember when I picked the 9 of Pentacles and I thought it was 9 of Cups, and then you had 9 of Cups with a butterfly? Yeah. So transformation, being at the heart of this reading, 9 of Cups, this is wish fulfillment, right? We've talked about this. Wish fulfillment. Remember when I said really checking in with yourself around where you are in your current stage of metamorphosis, right? Do you need to be in the cocoon? Have you been in the cocoon a little too long where the pizza guy knows your order and it's just coming up to your cocoon and it's all safe and cozy in there, but you know what I mean? It's time to kind of like break out and venture into a place of what? Feeling and doing. You know, this is interesting because this is also, and the reason I go like, you know, pizza and cocoon, I love a pizza and cocoon, honey. I love a pizza and cocoon. But this is a place of like overindulgence as well. Or, you know, partaking a little too much in those material comforts, as it were. Which there's a time and place for this. But I feel like because it is paired with the 7 of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles, really check in around what aspects of yourself you are mothering or nurturing or, you know, possibly taking care of in a way where you are, I'm getting a Cancerian energy here around it, where it's like this feeling of like self-nurturing, but it almost feels like it's almost a measure of avoidance. And I say that with love. I feel like it's almost a measure of avoidance, right? Where it's like, what aren't you looking at? What are you afraid of? Why? Because this is, right, setting about making a decision or in that moment before you do make a decision, right? 5 of Pentacles is feeling separate from what you desire or weighing risk against, you know, possible reward. And then the flip side of this also being like wish fulfillment. Your wish fulfillment is on the other side of this fear and analysis paralysis. So stop. You know what I mean? But instead of stop, go. Right? Wow. Okay. 2 Pentacles, y'all. 2 Pentacles, y'all. Ace of Pentacles, booyah, Ace of Pentacles. What did I say? You're choosing a pentacle and landing on it, and you trusting that the choice is its own reward, and it's going to lead to what you want, and even bigger and better. You got the Ace of Pentacles, which is big money, big reward, big job satisfaction. This is also engagement. This is just like the pinnacle. This pentacle is the pinnacle of the whole suit, right? This is huge. This is new home as well. You see where we're going with it? Let's just storyboard this. With the 9 of Pentacles, right? Acknowledging that you've built yourself up from where you've been and going, okay, I'm getting myself to the point where, because there's an extra pentacle here, where I'm in the moment before I can get to that 10 of Pentacles and share in the wealth and health. But it's taking a moment to just go, okay, I've been through a lot to get here, and here I am. Then you go to the 7 of Pentacles or 7 of Cups with the 5 of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups, your wish fulfillment being on the other side of fear-based thinking and analysis paralysis to finally making a choice with the 2 of Pentacles, with the Ace of Pentacles. You are going to come out of this, dear Sisyphus, right? Is that beetle literally on a boulder with a pentacle in it? Sisyphus, you're about to come out of this with a lot more than you had going in. But again, this is not for sure. News at 9, this is not for sure. This all depends on you. This is a potential energy within your collective for this moment in time, and this depends on you, right? Gemini, it matters, it feels important, and it feels like the reward. Ooh, whale, breach. I was feeling that as well. It feels like the risk or the reward will far outweigh the risk. Right? Again, I feel the need to say feeling and doing. Feeling and doing. Okay? Let's get an oracle. Oh, hello and goodbye. Whoa. You have fire, passion at the bottom there. I love that. Wow. So you have island, solitude. Were we not talking about where are you in the metamorphosis process and the cocoon, the safe cocoon and chrysalis? Reality of overindulgence or staying there a bit too long, or right? And it's about taking that risk outside of your comfort zone. And then we have island, solitude. But I want to point something out. This island is surrounded by water, which represents the intuition and feeling, right? I'm going to say it. I feel like for a large group of you, I feel like this is fear. I do. In this context, I feel like it's fear. Like sometimes this key will come up and it's like, oh yes, magic in the solitude, go within, like, you know, all that good stuff. but I feel like in this context, this is fear. Because you have the Five of Pentacles here. This is fear. That things aren't going to work out because they haven't before, that you'll end up alone, or that you'll end up with less than what you started with by taking this risk and moving down this road. And I also feel like the flip side and the light side of this oracle coming up for y'all as well is that the wisdom is in the fear and in the solitude of it, right? Why are you afraid of that? What are you afraid of? Really taking that time outside of distractions, right? To really get clear about your relationship, like we talked about with the boulder, your relationship to your obstacles or your perceived obstacles. It's about going beyond your perceived limitations. Is your boulder actually a boulder or is it a prop? That's the question. Gemini, I have a really good feeling about this. Nothing happens without you. Beautiful. Okay. Woo! This was your first half of Back with a Bang. This was your first half of September general reading. I so hope that this helped and resonated. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I live for reading your comments. And with that being said, just thank y'all so much for being here. And as always, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.